Welcome to the Spiritual Mind Center. Good morning. My name is Reverend Robin Moore, and I will be doing the message this morning for Thelma. She is well. She is just elsewhere. So everyone. I would like to start with a treatment. So I just invite us all to just release everything before this now moment and allow ourselves present now moment. Spirit, we know that everything is working together for good, that the highest and best is manifesting in each and every moment, in each and every expression of you. We give great thanks for the opportunity to gather this morning Spiritual Mind Center. But we know that there is only one presence and one active in our lives. And we allow ourselves to be open vessels through which it can express and manifest. We are grateful for each individual here this morning. We are grateful for all that is before us, for that which is before us is for us. And we just give great thanks for this moment, for this time, that we stop and pause to remember and know the truth of who we are, that we are spirit expressing life, love, joy, peace, harmony, balance, abundance, order, just pure joy. For this, we are grateful. I release this time into mine, knowing that it is already done. And so it is. Amen. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. So my topic for today is from, I don't know if you've ever heard of a book called Dare to Be Yourself by Alan Cohen. My class, we recently just finished working on some of the chapters. The last chapter that we worked on was called Dare to Be Original. And I thought that this would be a great topic for all of us this morning. And when I think of Dare to Be Original, I think of it from two perspectives. One, being willing to do something that's never been done. And two, being willing to be your true, authentic self. And so as I thought about this subject, the more I thought about it is, we could do something unlike anybody else, but before we could do that, we really need to be true. We get to know that we get to have the opportunity to be uniquely ourselves. God made us each uniquely different. And it is our right and privilege to show up in the world, showing our true selves, not trying to be like anyone else, not trying to be less than what we are. In one of our class, I'm recently just finishing up the practitioner class. One of the things that we discovered in some of the readings is that God gave us everything that we need to be in this place, this time, this expression. And how often we look outside of ourselves for that to be expressed, like we can't do it ourselves. And we're not meant to be alone, but we do have the power within us to discern how to move and how to move individually. We have, I keep going back to this thing. We have everything that we need. So if I have everything that I need within me, then why do I keep looking outside of myself to find answers, to find solutions, to find ways of being, when if I can look within myself, if I can look within and take the time to be still and really get clear about who God is in my life and who God is in general. Dwight used to say, if your God's not big enough to handle your problems, you need a bigger God. And am I limiting the one and thus limiting myself? Can I really stand in that presence and power of God that I am and allow myself to fully express? Can I be that expression? Can I be that voice of spirit in this time? And do I want to fit in, or do I want to be true to me? And I know that at times for myself, and I can only speak for myself, I have to really be quiet, because my views are not always the same as everybody else's. But what I do know is that I don't have to argue for my position. I don't have to fight for my position. God made me uniquely me. So I have a right to think and feel the way I think and feel. I don't have to seek anyone's permission. I don't have to seek anyone's approval. And, it takes courage to really be, for me, this is the way I'm speaking as the world from Robin's perspective only, that it takes courage at times to be myself and to stand in my truth. The thing about truth is that it doesn't fluctuate. Truth is truth. And we're either in alignment with it or we're not. And it's okay, whatever way it is. But we need to acknowledge that truth doesn't change. It may expand, it may grow, but truth is truth. And so for me, my journey at this point in my life is for me to be that gift that God made me to be willing to stand in, and stand in my uncertainty, because there are times when I'm uncertain, and know that it's going to be okay, because I may not have the answer at my disposal right here, right now, but I do have the answer, and the answer does come from within if I allow it. But sometimes I know for myself, and again, speaking for myself, I want the answer now. I want the answer now. I don't want to have to deal with any uncomfortableness. I don't want to deal with no, feeling like I'm drifting in the water by myself. There is this presence and that power that is us. It's all around us. It's everywhere equally present. Can I rely on it? Can I call on it to be my authentic self? And, what a gift it is to be able to stand in our truth, to be that gift that God created us to be. If God wanted us all to be the same, we would have been. But the fact that we're not means that we have this opportunity to be ourselves, but also know that being ourselves is part of the whole. It's all part of the puzzle that fits together that makes the one. And so we have this opportunity to really get clear about who we are. And we don't have to look to other people to determine that. We don't even have to look at other people, because one of the things that, we've always been told, when you compare yourself to other people, you're always going to find shortcomings. And why not just stand in who you are and know that you've been put on this plane and put into this experience because you have something to give. You have something to contribute. And why try to be like someone else when you're being uniquely you and you have something to give? In the chapter that we talked about, Dare to Be Original, there was a story about how this guy, Alan Cohn, went, he was a writer and he wrote this book. And as he was writing this book, he went to the bookstore and he noticed that all these other authors were writing the same thing. And then he was like, well, what do I have to offer? But the thing is, what he realized was that he has a unique perspective on how to present that same. And being that we're not all the same, we need many different perspectives on the same topics to attract the people that are part of our niche. We all have something to sprinkle, something to share, something to give, because that's what we're here for. We're here to be a blessing and a gift first to ourselves, and then as a byproduct to everyone else. And so when we can take that time to really question what our beliefs are, why we believe it, and is it true? Because it might have been true in the past, but it may not be true now, because we're constantly evolving and unfolding. And as we're evolving and unfolding, our views can change, our perspectives can get wider. And it's all part of, the thing I'm amazed at myself is, being my true authentic self from yesterday, years before, and now is different. And we get to know that we're constantly evolving. There is no stagnation in spirit. You look at nature, and it, especially trees, the leaves fall off, the leaves come back. And so we're like nature. Things are going to die, and then we're going to come back fresh and brand new. But we have to be willing to change, to be willing to grow, and most importantly, to be willing to love ourselves as we are in each and every moment. It is so important that we remember that we are a gift, that we are a blessing, and that there is a reason and a purpose that we're here. And if for no other reason than to love ourselves. And, when we can be fully present with ourselves and love ourselves in a way that, it exudes, and people want to be around us, and they don't really know why, but it's because of how we see ourselves, how we feel about ourselves, how we act with ourselves, because we can't give to other people what we don't have. And so it's really important that we take the time. I mean, life is so busy. If we look at the outside world, we never have time to take care of ourselves. We will never have. So we have to decide that we are going to intentionally work on ourselves and work on our spirituality. Look at our thoughts. What are we thinking when life is showing up? What are we thinking? What are we believing about what we're thinking? And is it in alignment with who we truly are? Is it in alignment with who we want to be? Because whatever we decide we want to be, we can be. And there's no right or wrong, because each of us has to decide for ourselves. And our spiritual journey is up to us. We're the ones that have to discover that true original, that true authentic self that we are, because no one can do it for us. They can assist us, they can point us in the right way, but when it's all said and done, it's on us. And how we live on this plane and how we express ourselves, again, is on us. There is no blame. There is only consciousness, and there's only opportunities for shift. One of the things that I love about these teachings is that if we don't like what we're experiencing, we get to look at ourselves and saying, how can I see this different? How can I create something new? What needs to change in me for me to have a better experience than what I'm having right now? And knowing that the power of our thoughts, that power that fuels the whole entire universe, is within us, supporting us, behind us, all around us. And all we need to do is speak into it. Our words and our thoughts are so powerful, and in our beingness, we have the opportunity to be flooded with ideas. Sometimes I know for myself, I get an idea and I'm like, and then I have to pause and I have to ask myself, what are you saying no to? Are you saying to know that it's not possible? Are you saying that you can't? Or are you saying no because it's not you? But we get to question when things come to us, whether it's our fit. And sometimes for me, the ideas require me to stretch. And I don't always feel like I want to stretch. I'm being perfectly honest. But what I do know is that if I don't stretch, then I get to stay the same. And spirit doesn't stay the same. We have choice. Yes, we do. What we want in being our authentic selves and being our original selves, we have the opportunity opportunity to know that change is constant. And we can go with the flow or we can resist, but change is going to happen no matter what. And we live in a society that to me seems to be moving really, really, really fast. And we could get lost in that pace, but it's up to us to say, okay, and this is what I do sometimes. I say, I'm getting off. I'm just going to get off. I need to take some time to really get clear about what's important to me and what matters and what I can do in my thoughts, my feelings, and actions to keep myself in alignment with principle, keep myself in alignment with what is important. And it's not selfish to want to take care of what's important to you, because when you take care of yourself, you take care of the universe. Because God didn't ask us to sacrifice for anything. Everything has its time and its space, and that spirit is always working in me, in you, and all the people around us, even if they don't know that spirit is at work. And we don't have to fix it. We don't have to fix it. We get to be. Because when we're being our authentic selves, we are contributing to the whole in a way that empowers others to be their authentic self. I love this thing where in our society, it seems like they want everyone to be individual, but they want conformity. It's like, okay, be like this, or this is the way, the pretty people look like this and the other people look like this. But the reality is we're all unique individuals. We're all unique expressions. And as such, why not honor our uniqueness? Why not honor the gift that God has given us? We're part of a magnificent puzzle. That's the way I look at it. We're a piece of tapestry, and every strand matters. Every strand matters. But the strands don't have to be the same. They're made essentially of the same stuff, but they express differently. And when you put all those threads into a tapestry, it makes it into a beautiful picture. And so as we allow ourselves to be our original selves, our divine selves, our authentic selves, we are contributing to that tapestry. And it may not seem at times that we're really making a difference, but the fact that we're here, the fact that we're being, the fact that we're living our lives as authentic as we can, we're contributing to the whole and contributing to that authenticity of the whole. Because the whole is uniquely unique. And without us, it wouldn't be the same. So the invitation is to remember to be you and not to be anybody else. Take the time to discern what is yours to do. Take time to understand who spirit is to you and that you are spirit expressing. We are God expressing. And, I ask myself sometimes, is this what God really wants? Because I'm like, okay, this may not be what I feel that spirit desires, but we also have to be careful with that. Is because sometimes we have an expectation that it look a certain way and it may not look like it, but it's not that it's not it. It just may express in a different form. And we have the opportunity to really put out there what our heart's desire is. What's our heart's desire? And put it out there. Don't sugarcoat it. Don't minimize it. And know that there is a presence and a power in you, around you, supporting you, lifting you up, that will manifest that. Because it can only manifest that which we embody. And our authentic selves is the embodiment of all that God is and all that we are here to be. I mean, this is, Thumba talks all the time about the magnificence and the brilliance of us. but we are magnificent and brilliant and amazing and super bad all day long because that's what God created. God didn't create us to be, wallflowers or sitting on the sidelines or, oh, you know, just thinking limited. We belong to a limitless God. We are a limitless expression when we choose to. And it doesn't have to happen all at once. But every time we push the envelope, every time we expand our borders, every time we say, this is who I am, even if it doesn't fit into the mold that is around us, we are expanding the whole, expanding the consciousness. And, I think it's really, really important that we honor the gift that we've been given because life is a gift and it was meant to be enjoyed. It was meant to be lived, not be a spectator, but live, be a participant, a contributor to the world. And we each have something to give. We each have something to give. And we're giving all the time, but what are we giving? Are we giving our true selves or are we giving who we think people want us to be? And it's really important that we remember that who we are and what we are, whose we are, is most important. And it all begins with us. It all begins within. And our outer world always reflects our inner world. So when we're being true to ourselves, we can see the truth of who we are in our outer expression. And so I just invite you, ladies, and everyone involved today, just to be in limitless possibilities for yourself and allow spirit to guide and direct you and know that you are safe and that everything that you could ever possibly want or desire is awaiting your recognition. And I just say thank you and God bless you. And thank you for giving me an opportunity to share with you this morning. I truly, truly appreciate it. Thank you.